Well, we are back, and we are now going to meet author Mark Cote, and he has written a book called That Lucky Old Son. Thanks for joining us.
You're most welcome.
So now, Mark, is this your first book?
Yes, it is my first book.
And how did it go?
I think it went just peachy keen.
Good. And when you're inspired to write, you just want to write.
Yes, this had a lot of meaning for myself, so I thought it was a good project to start writing with.
All right, well, let's talk about the book, That Lucky Old Son. Tell us about it.
It's a story about my father's service in World War II. He was shot down and captured and spent time in a POW camp where he was injured and was quite stricken, and he died early because of that.
Wow.
So because he passed away when I was 8, I wanted to know more about his service life.
Okay, so how did you get information? How did you dig deep?
Through a lot of reading, a lot of things that have been published, from searches in archives, plus going to his bomber base in England as well, and meeting some of the veterans that he served with.
Wow. Was it quite a journey for you to find this all?
I think so, yeah. It was I think it taught me an awful lot about the way he approached life, and I think that was quite important for myself and for the rest of my family as well.
And was it easy to find information, or was it a struggle?
It was difficult in some instances, but once I could connect with some of the people that he knew during his service, people who knew him at that particular time, it was much easier because then I could get a glimpse into his life at that particular time.
Right. And this took place in what year? 1940?
Yes, he joined in 1941, and he was shot down in 1944.
So now, who would love to read this book? I mean, is there a certain type, like historians, World War buffs, but everyone?
I've had comments from a lot of different people, because I tried to strike a balance between the people who would really be sort of the rivet counters who wanted a history of the aviation.
Right.
And also the people who would want the actual story involved, the interactions between myself and my father and what he might have gone through at that particular time. I tried to strike a balance between those, and hopefully I did that with this book.
Good. Now, how is this book available? Where do people pick it up?
It's available at the University of Regina bookstore, at Coles and Chapters in Regina, and it's also available on many different sources online as well.
Okay. And inspired to write another book?
I'm starting to think that way, yes.
Really?
I think that's, it might be my future.
Might be your future. Well, it looks like a good book. Who published this for you?
This was done by Friesen Press out of Victoria.
Okay. Now, did you do the artwork, or does someone help you with that?
That was part of the design process of the book, but I had a lot of creative control on that. The pictures I supplied, essentially.
Are there pictures in the book?
There are no pictures in the book, but there are many on a companion website that I created that are of my father and his crews and that sort of thing.
Okay, so there's a companion website.
Yes.
And what is the address on that?
It is www.thatluckyoldson, one word, .ca.
Oh, that's easy peasy.
Yes.
Can remember that. And I do love it. I think it looks really good, and it sounds like an amazing book. And congratulations to you for all the research you did.
You.
For not even, I mean, you were 8 years old.
Yes, I'm blessed with a good memory, so I do remember things about my father, and I do detail some of those in the book, and those lead into stories about his service life.
Good. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Mark, and sharing your book. And again, where can we get it?
At Chapters and Coles in Regina, and also the University of Regina bookstore, and also online, many sources online.
Good. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, that was author Mark Cote. He is from Regina, and he wrote that book, That Lucky Old Son. And maybe you could pick it up, Chapters, Coles, U of R, and online. Well, stay with us, because next up, Michelle is here, and we're going to talk about Saskatchewan Seniors Mechanism is celebrating their seniors.